Hello, welcome to Basics of Finite Element Analysis Part 2. Today is the second day of this fourth week. Yesterday we had done a quick recap of Gaussian quadrature scheme, and what we had discussed was that depending on the nature of integrand, we have to calculate the number of quadrature points, and to ensure that our numerical integration, if we use Gaussian quadrature, is exact. So, that is what we discussed yesterday, and today what we are going to do is continue that discussion on quadrature, and specifically we will actually calculate the value of Kij of and show how this whole method works. So, we had shown that Kij equals xa to xb ax d psi I e over d dx d psi j over dx, so excuse me, times dx. Suppose this is the definition, and let us assume that ax is equal to 1, then what I get is xa to xb d psi I over dx for eth element times d psi j for eth element over dx, and this now I transform it to the zeta space or natural coordinate system. So, the first thing is I change the limits from -1 to +1, then I express d psi I as a function of zeta and d zeta times j, right, and then this is d psi j as a function of zeta over d zeta times j, and dx is j d zeta. So, this gives us -1 to 1 psi I e prime psi j e prime times j times d zeta, and this is equal to, so I call this entire thing as f hat as a function of, excuse me, so this entire thing psi I prime psi j prime times j, I call it f I j hat, if I call it f I j hat, and if I have to use quadrature method, then what do I do? I merely express it as a summation of f I j hat, but I will evaluate this f I j hat at which point? At the quadrature points. So, the index for those quadrature points is different, which is t, and this is, and the weight for tth quadrature point is w t. So, I will add this up over index t, and t varies from 1 to r. So, this is very important to understand and make sure that you do not get confused with these three different indices. So, if I am using Gaussian quadrature, this is the formula we have to use, and this formula has three indices I, j and t. The indices I and j, where do they come from? Where did they come from? They are associated with the psi functions, which are interpolation functions for what? Because remember, we had discussed that we have interpolation functions for geometry and interpolation functions for variable. So, I, j are interpolation functions, are indices associated with interpolation functions for what? Is it geometry or primary variable? Functions for primary variable. It is important to understand. And T is the index for tth quadrature points. Okay. So, this is related to geometric approximation, right? This is related to geometric approximation. Index I and j is related to the approximation for primary variables. So, if I and j varies from 1 to 4, then this gives us the value of m. We saw it in last week, and this gives us the value of n. And if m equals n, then what kind of formulation is this? Isoparametric formulation. If m is less than n, then it gives us subparametric formulation, and if m is more than n, then it gives us superparametric. So, this is important to understand. So, while we are doing all this mathematics, or if we are developing code, we have to make sure that we carefully handle these indices, otherwise we will get confused and we will get bad answers. Okay. So, this is very important to understand. So, this is the formula we have to use to calculate Kij. So, I will again make this more explicit. Okay. So, we have already written that these depend on u and these depend on quadrature points and so on and so forth. Okay. And we had seen that r is equal to p plus 1 divided by 2. Okay. So, when we have to calculate p, we have to calculate p for this function Fij as a function of zeta. We do not have to calculate p for d psi I over dx or d psi j over dx or ax. We have to calculate p for this function, calculate p for Fij zeta, because it is in this function everything else is embedded, a is embedded, j is embedded, derivatives of psi are embedded. If it is a mass matrix, then psi and psi j may be embedded. So, this is what we are interested in. We have to calculate p for this function, then we can correctly calculate the value of r. Okay. Now, we will actually calculate Kij for a quadratic function. So, so we are assuming psi I to be quadratic. This means psi I e prime is linear. So, that means psi I e prime times psi j e prime times j times a, which is 1. This entire expression is, this is the integrand, right, for this equation. So, this is equation 1, or I will call it equation A. So, this for this equation, this entire integrand, what is the order of this? If psi I is quadratic, then psi I prime is linear. This is the entire integrand. We have to calculate, this is my Fij zeta, right? What is the order of this? Order is 2. That means P equals 2, which means the number of quadrature points should be 2 plus 1 divided by 2, and that gives me 2. So, that means that R should be 2 or higher. I can use R as 3, but I cannot use R as 1. I can use R as 2. Okay. So, now if, so second thing is, if psi I is quadratic, if psi I is quadratic, what does that mean? How many points it has in a quadratic elements? It has 3 points, right? In a quadratic element, this is node 1, node 2, node 3, right? Which means for each element, how many approximation functions we'll have? We'll have 3 approximation functions. For a linear element, it has 2 nodes. There are 2 approximation functions, psi 1 and psi 2. The value of psi 1 is 1 at node 1 and 0 at node 2, and the value of psi 2 is 1 at node 2 and 0 at node 1. Similarly, for a quadratic element, there are 3 nodes, it will have 3 quadratic functions, psi 1, psi 2, psi 3, right. So, we will have 3 psi's, or psi 1, psi 2 and psi 3, and the value of psi 1 is going to be 1 at first node, and it will be 0 at nodes 2 and 3. Value of psi 2 will be 0 at 1 and 3 and 1 at node 2, and value of psi 3 will be 1 at node 3 and 0 at 1 and 2. So, remember, yeah. So, if I have to do isoparametric formulation, so there are 3 psi's. If I have to do, so now suppose we want to do isoparametric formulation. So, in this case, m is equal to 3. M is not the order, right? M plus 1 is the order. No, m minus 1 is the order. So, this means m is equal to 3, and m minus 1 is 2, which is the order of this polynomial expression, which is quadratic. It is important to remember, there is the difference. So, m is 3, so the order is 2 because it is m minus 1, and that is what it is, right. So, if I have to do isoparametric formulation, m should be same as n. So, or m is equal to 3, so n is equal to 3, n is same as r. So, I have to, so how many quadrature points should we use for isoparametric formulation? 3, n is equal to 3, which is same as r, it is 3. So, for isoparametric formulation, I have to use 3 quadrature points, we have to use 3 quadrature points. If I use r equals 2, it will not be an isoparametric formulation, but will I get the correct answer? How many number of, what is the minimum number of quadrature points required? Minimum number, so this should be actually r, not r, but r min. So, minimum number of quadrature points is 2. If I use 3 quadrature points, I will be fine. The formulation will be isoparametric and answers will be accurate. If I use r is equal to 2, will I get accurate answers? I will get accurate answers, but the formulation will not be called isoparametric. So, that is what we will do. So, the first thing we will do is find out psi 1, psi 2, psi 3. Now, in the last week we had discussed how we can develop formulas for these three psi's. So, I am going to write down the expressions directly, not psi 1, actually these are, I am sorry, find out expressions for psi 1, psi 2 and psi 3. And these expressions are psi 1 equals minus zeta by 2 times 1 minus zeta, psi 2 equals 1 plus zeta, 1 minus zeta, and psi 3 equals zeta by 2 into 1 plus zeta. Okay. So, if you look at psi 1, if you put in psi 1, if you put zeta as 0, what do you get? No, I am sorry, if you put, so for the element zeta is minus 1 here and plus 1 here and 0 here. So, at the first node zeta is minus 1, if I put minus 1, then the value of psi 1 is 1. So, its value is 1 at first node and its value is 0 at second node where zeta is 0, and its value is 0 at third node because at third node zeta is 1. So, you can check all these psi 1, psi 2, psi 3 meet those requirements. So, now I will calculate their derivatives with respect to zeta. So, this is minus 1 plus 2 zeta by 2, this is minus 2 zeta, and this is 1 plus 2 zeta by 2. So, these are the three derivatives. So, these are the three derivatives, and now we have to use these derivatives to calculate f I j hat. I have to calculate this f I j hat at which points? At 3 quadrature points, which is zeta 1, zeta 2 and zeta 3. And those zeta 1, zeta 2 and zeta 3 are not minus 1, 0 and 1. They are different values. We find those values from this table. So, in this table, if I have to use 3 quadrature points, then the coordinates of those zetas are what? They correspond to this line. So, the first quadrature point will be 0. So, zeta will be, so I have to evaluate this function f hat at zeta equals 0. I have to evaluate it at zeta is equal to plus 0.774596 and I have to evaluate it minus 0.774596. These are the three places where I have to evaluate zetas, the f hat function. What we will do in the next classes, we will actually calculate all these functions and find out the actual value of k I j. And we will also do it for some other values of r, and then hopefully you will see in more precise terms how this numerical integration method is performed. So, that concludes our discussion for today, and we will look forward to seeing you tomorrow and discussing the same topic tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Bye.